What is going on, trainers? DrumVillain here, bringing you some more Pokemon Go PvP content, and today I want to have a quick chat with you guys about the specific Pokemon that you want to be focusing on for PvP for the Go Battle League at GoFest this weekend. GoFest, obviously a huge event, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot of spawns, a lot of rare spawns, a lot of things you'll not be used to seeing, and it can be quite overwhelming to know what you should focus on and what you should be trying to grind out candies for, or anything like that. So this is just going to be a quick few-minute guide. I apologize, it's an impromptu recording in the car. I am about to set off to Hull, my band are playing a gig. We're playing a music festival, Springboard Festival, Holgate Tavern. Shout out if I see anybody there. But yeah, you guys are gonna have to deal with the car recording for today, and that sun is absolutely mad bright. So we're just gonna leave that blocking so I can actually see what I'm doing. Quick note as well, guys, if you haven't claimed your rewards yet for the last season of Go Battle League, I recommend you drop a star piece before you go into the battle menu. If you're at rank 20, you'll get 90,000 dust. With a star piece, will jump up to 135,000 stardust. That is incredibly worth dropping a star piece for. That's a boatload of stardust. The biggest single drop of dust that players get generally is from the end of Go Battle League season, so you do want to take advantage of that. Also wanted to quickly say that next weekend I will be at Download Music Festival in Donington. So if you're in the UK, you're planning to come to Download Festival, maybe if you're traveling internationally for it, I know a few people do, let me know down below. Maybe I'll run into you there. Maybe we can get a cheeky beer. Be great to see any of you guys there. So while I'm listing these Pokemon, I'm going to give you guys the best IV spread for each league underneath them on the side, so you guys can see what IV spread you're definitely looking for each league. But also, if you want to see a more detailed list of IV spreads and analyze them for yourselves, you can go to Go Stadium's website. They've got a fantastic tool for rank checking your IV spreads on your Pokemon and see how viable they are in each league. So, first Pokemon you guys will be focusing on at GoFest is going to be Axew. It's a very obvious choice, but in the Master League Premier Classic, Haxorus is an absolute beast with access to counter, Dragon Tail, Night Slash, Dragon Claw. It's an awesome moveset. It can't quite hold its own as well against the Legendaries in Open Master League, but if you like Master League Premier Classic, Haxorus is one of the strongest overpowered picks in there. Just has to watch out for the fairies, so I do recommend you try and look for that 100% IV Axew. God forbid any of us actually get lucky enough to find one, but I've got my fingers crossed for you guys. And you do want the candy. I don't know if you need to level 50. I wouldn't say that you need to worry about the XL candy for it, but obviously any that you catch, it's a guaranteed XL candy from a trade, so save them all, trade into a friend. Get those XL candies stacked up for this thing, because we will get a community day at some point, and that's obviously only going to make it even stronger in PvP. So Axew is definitely one you guys want to be focusing on. As far as Great League and Ultra League go, Haxorus is very, very spicy. It's not highly ranked in either cup. Even with limited metas, there are other Pokemon that fill similar roles. Drudigan, I find, is a slightly better Night Slash Dragon Claw spamming dragon for the Great League and Ultra League. But Haxorus might have some spicy play if you're feeling extra creative, really like shaking things up. But honestly, I wouldn't worry about PvP IVs, specifically with low attack for Axew. Pick number 2 is going to be Magnemite. Now, Magnezone has fantastic play in the Master League Premier Classic and the Ultra League. Magneton has good play in the Great League, especially in the limited formats where there's not the hardest meta available to pick from, such as the Great League Remix, which we've got going on right now. So I do recommend you look for those potential PvP IV spreads for Magnemites, as well as potential Hundo for the Master League. Pick number 3 is going to be Alolan Grimer. Alolan Grimer is going to be spawning in the same hour window as Magnemite, and Alolan Muck is fantastic in the Ultra League. If you've ever used it as a safe swap, it's absolutely devastating. It also has access to Poison Jab as well as Snarl, and Poison Jab recently got a buff, which definitely benefits Alolan Muck a lot. It's great for shutting down the Giratinas, the Cruselias. It has some play in the Great League, but not as important, so you can look for PvP spreads for Alolan Grimer. I believe you can XL it as well if you want to give it a little bit more bulk. It's not necessary to do so, but getting some XL candies for it might not hurt. It doesn't have much play in the Master League, but if you find yourselves a perfect one, more power to you. Pick number 4 is going to be Bronzor. Now, Bronzor, as we all know, is the most broken pick in the Little Cup in general, in the 500 CP format. Often it's been referred to as the Bronzor Cup because that thing is so disgustingly strong in that meta. But also Bronzong has good play in the Great League. It's good for the more limited metas. It's not as strong as it used to be overall in the Great League, since things like Galarian Stunfisk and a lot of the ground types and some of the dark types have rose to prominence, but it is still a strong interesting choice for the Great League. And if you've not got one built yet, I recommend you look for that good IV spread for the Bronzor. Next pick is going to be Drillbur, Excadrill. If you've seen any of my videos using Excadrill, you know I love that thing in the Master League or the Master League Premier Classic. It doesn't matter, it holds its own in both cups, against the Legendaries, against the non-Legendaries. It's very, very strong. It has decent play in the Ultra League as well, but its lack of bulk does let it down a little bit. I wouldn't worry too much about a Great League Excadrill. It really can't. It's just too attack weighted for the Great League, I would say. But again, it's not useless at the same time. But I would recommend definitely prioritizing looking for a hundo of Drillbur and potentially an Ultra League IV spread. Next pick is going to be Karoblast. Karoblast evolves into Escavalier, which is a fantastic pick once again in the Ultra League. It's a great counter to Cresselia. It can hold its own against the meta in general. It's got access to counter, drill run, mega horn. It's a very strong pick. It's a great steel killer, great against Registeels, Melmetals. Fantastic pick, so I do recommend you pick yourselves up an Ultra League IV spread for Karoblast. Again, doesn't do that well in the Master League. It doesn't quite get a big enough stat product to really hold its own there. But again, get a perfect one. More power to you. Next pick is going to be one that's going to be very obvious to some of the older, longer standing players of Go Battle League, and that is going to be Tropius. Tropius is the regional that will be available to everyone globally during this Go Fest, and Tropius is a monster in the Great League. The grass flying type is absolutely fantastic. It's got great bulk, great moveset. It's really a strong pick, and this might be your only chance, depending where you are in the world, to actually get one to use for Go Battle League. So you definitely want to focus on finding yourselves a good IV spread on Tropius. It's not really any good in the Ultra League or the Master League, but you definitely do want a Great League spread for Tropius from this event. Another grass type you guys want to focus on from that hour is going to be Cdot. Now, since we've already had Cdot Community Day, I believe it was last year, year before, where they gave access to Bullet Seed, to Shiftry, which doesn't really make it any better. I still run Snarl personally on my Shiftry if I do run it in the Great League. This is a great opportunity to farm XL candy for Shiftry for the Ultra League, because XL Shiftry is Ultra League viable, especially for the Ultra Premier Cup. So I do recommend you try and get a PvP IV spread for Cdot if you do not have one already. If you do, maybe just rack up some extra candy, maybe start working towards an XL one for the Ultra League. But yeah, I do definitely recommend Cdot if you don't have it ready already. Moving on to the fourth hour of spawns, the Tundra spawns, you're going to be wanting to look at Wingle specifically to try and get a PvP IV spread. Pelipper's a great pick in the Great League. It can beat Stunfisk, it can beat Azumarill, it beats Grasses. It's a very strong pick, especially with an energy advantage, so you do definitely want to get yourselves a Great League Pelipper built if you get the chance from this event. If you're looking for something with a bit of Master League or Ultra League play, you're going to be wanting Mamoswine, which you're going to be able to get by catching all of the Swinubs that you see during this hour as well. Mamoswine's a great choice. Again, for the Master League, the ice and ground coverage is fantastic for slaying dragons and slaying the steels, as well as in the Ultra League, it can hold its own there reasonably well, but again, it does suffer a little bit from a lack of bulk. But I do recommend you try and get yourselves that hundo Swinub for sure if you can find one to build for the Master League. Coming towards the end of the list now, but another obvious choice in this hour is probably going to be Meditite. Medicham has always been a very strong pick in the Great League. It's an absolute beast, and since they released XLs, it's only gotten stronger. So if you can find yourselves a very low attack, high defense, high stamina Meditite, you do want to build an XL Medicham. The thing is absolutely broken. It's got mad bulk, great coverage with the movesets of counter, ice punch, power up punch, psychic, dynamic punch. It's a beast. So you definitely do want to get yourselves a good build Medicham, as well as being able to gather some XL candies as well while you're at it. If for some reason you missed Spheal Community Day only a few months back, you do want to gather some Spheal candy. You do want to look for those PvP IVs. Warrain, as we all know, is an absolute monster in pretty much every league. Holds its own in the Great League, the Ultra League. Doesn't hold itself up as well in the Master League, but it does still have play there because Icicle, Spear and Powder Snow are just so good. If you don't have them built, you will have to spend elite, fast and charged TMs for that moves on that thing after, or you can wait for another event where we can evolve for them. Maybe Hoenn Day, probably not too far away, probably next year. But if you want to spend the elite TMs, Warrain's a fantastic choice for any league that you want to put it in. The last spawn I'm going to mention to you guys is Avalon, as in Bergmite, which will also be spawning in the Tundra Hour. Avalon is a great pick for the Master League, for the Ultra League, holds itself in Open Master League against the Legendaries, has access to Ice Fang, Avalanche. It hits, and it's got Body Slam actually as well, which is very, very spammy. So it's a great Pokemon overall. I do recommend you try and find yourselves a Hundo for the Master League and maybe an Ultra League build as well, but it's not quite as strong there, but it does still have very strong play, especially against some of the Legendaries like Giratina, the Floating Round, and Swampert in the Ultra League. I will also say that the raids of Kyogre and Groudon, which are here for the next couple of weeks, but also they are focused on during the first day of GoFest, you do really, if you don't have them for the Master League, you do want to get those caught and try and get those Hundos. I don't necessarily recommend grinding raids just to try and get a Hundo, but honestly, Kyogre and Groudon are absolute beasts in the Master League, and they're only going to get stronger when they do eventually get their signature moves, Origin Pulse and Precipice Blades, and then we're going to get the primal versions of those down the line as well. So it's a great time to start stacking up some candy for them, or IV hunting as well if you're looking to do more raids. So that's just a quick list of the spawns I think you guys should focus on specifically for Go Battle League at GoFest. I know this isn't my usual type of content. I'm usually focusing on battles, on strategies, on teams for Go Battle League. So if you want to see more of that, be sure to hit the subscribe button if you're new. But yes, these are the spawns you do want to focus on. The rest, some of them do have little bits of play here and there, but they're not good enough or overpowering enough for me to really recommend you put effort in to grinding them over the other spawns that I mentioned in this video if building Go Battle League teams is your current primary objective. Good luck to any trainers who are out there shiny hunting. I hope we all manage to pull at least one of those shiny Axios, which we know are definitely not going to be shiny boosted, because we all remember Corsola, right? I spent like 150 raid passes on that thing, so I'm probably not going to raid too hard for Axew, but looking forward to the day. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I will catch all you guys in the next one.